welcome to the show. First thing, if anything, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do, your name, and we'll start from there.
I'm Big Chop, man. I'm Big Chop Management. I do artist show booking, show promotion, artist development, from management to helping people sign to record labels and a little bit of everything in between. If it's to fundamentally help an artist, I'm probably involved in it in some sort of aspect.
What are the fundamentals of someone who wants to be an artist? And in this case, we're talking about like lyricists, or are we talking like painters?
Anything. I've helped with sports athletes. I've helped with a couple TV stars and stuff like that. I've even helped translate TV reality into show production for live music and stuff like that. There's a lot of different elements when it comes to the fundamentals. It just kind of depends where the artist stands. Dedication is one of the biggest things. Making sure someone's serious into going into doing what they want to do. If they're not serious, it doesn't help management get them farther. Someone has to be dedicated into what they want to do.
So I didn't know the spectrum was that wide. I know I've seen a lot of your promotion for events, and I'll be like, man, these are some big names, man. Like, that's pretty wild. And it's like a local guy. And I was like, well, someone has to live somewhere all the time. Even if they're big, they got to live somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's the way I saw it. But I didn't know it was that spectrum of just not just like rap artists, but now you're talking about just like stars themselves, people who are looking to get into the entertainment business.
Yeah, just entertainment in general, from comedy to TV shows, movies, music, anything. I'm involved in it.
What is it that lets you know someone is serious?
Their production and their commercializing. People who tend to be serious about themselves are willing to invest or take the time to build a team or build the fundamental factors to start publicizing themselves into other networks, trying to step outside of just that local zone, just that little friend group that they're in. I think is one of the biggest ones. Seeing them invest into themselves, whether it's their Instagram content, whether it's booking a show, stuff like that. I think there's levels to the seriousness when it comes with artists. A lot of artists, they just want to go record a few songs and then call themselves an artist. But there's a lot more behind that stuff, like as a football player, you don't just practice at some point in time. You have to step onto the field to consider yourself a ball player.
So how does it work for someone who's like an introvert but has like some type of talent, like they're able to do, I guess, the entertainment, but they're not really like someone who wants to be out in public? Is that just very few people who can make it and do that? Because it seems to me like the people who are very out there and have a lot of energy usually have like issues where they're getting in trouble, like,
Yes.
and then the money comes in, and then now they're just amplified the energy.
Issues.
Yeah, and so then the people who I seem to come across who are successful, they're more calm. They're not more. They got kind of shy. So how does that work, or what's your been experience with that?
Like you said, sometimes you give these very expressive people money and then they go a little bit overboard and now they find themselves in trouble. My experiences with it, I've seen it happen to a lot of artists, but from someone who's been around some of the labels and some of the booking agencies, we're always trying to tell these artists, hey, you're making some extra money, stay inside, keep yourself home, stay chill. Being a superstar and being a star is also about exclusivity. If everyone sees you at the corner store, everyone sees you at this certain spot you're always going to, why would someone want to pay to come see you? So sometimes being an introvert in that aspect isn't bad. It can translate back into you making better money. If fans don't want to pay to see someone that they can just drive to a random corner store and see all the time hanging out. So I think there's a wide spread of things. But being an introvert, you can still have great success in the industry because streaming is so wide and it's worldwide. The internet, you can touch anyone in any second from across the world and run into someone. So being an introvert or being someone who's very expressive, there's so many different ways in the entertainment industry to accumulate money. I think just being yourself is the main thing, and finding the right lane that fits you.
What got you into this part of the management part? Like, what was happening, or what did you notice that you decided, hey, this is probably something I should.
I've been around a few of some of my close family relatives and stuff like that. And one of my cousins, he does music, and he's one of my older cousins. And when I seen a few shows and stuff going around, I was like, okay, it really doesn't take too much to put everything together and get someone on board. A lot of it is just about investing. Straight money talks, straight up. You come at people with the correct amount of money and they'll put you in positions to win. Super simple. And I was lucky enough to find someone. Shout out No Label Agency. I had my first artist, my cousin. We made a great deal, and I got him to open for Little Maru in front of 400 people. And at that time, my cousin hadn't even dropped his first song. So we played 3 unreleased songs for his very first show set. So I think, and just being able to see how other people do it and maneuver it, I thought, hey, I'm smart enough to do that. When I was younger, I was around huge boxing events all my life. That's what I did while I was younger. So I've always been around the entertainment business. And to be honest, no disrespect to artists, but I feel like a lot of these boxing events are on another level of show production. So seeing something as simple as the music production, I was like, oh, I can do that. I've been around people who've done that all my life.
So you help them out with all those things, and then what would you say has changed from when you first started to like nowadays, and what do you think the future is for your management part?
I want to become big in all aspects. I feel like I'm really big with the artist and stuff like that, but I want to become really big in the sports industry and stuff like that as well. I don't want to just be known for one thing. I want my name to be able to touch all aspects of entertainment, whether it comes from comedy to the sports. I want to be able to say I have a superstar in every aspect of the entertainment. So ideally, that's where I would like to take things.
Well, they're opening up the comedy club. They've had it before. It was on White Lane, but now they've switched to this place. At, I'm assuming better deal, circumstances, whatever brought them there. Um, that's allowing them to either be more efficient or maybe the conditions are better there that they moved there. What has been your experience with comedians? I know you have the idea of helping comedians, but what is it that like you offer those individual people, or what comedians have you worked with?
I've had the pleasure of working with Warren V in Bakersfield, California. Super, super cool guy. He actually would host some of my shows, and I would attend a lot of his shows and help be a special guest to help judge talent at some of his old shows. Um, Something that I offer comedians is a different type of publicity that not a lot of local small people can get their hands on. I can get people onto billboards. I can get people into digital billboards into New York just to instantly take their career and their social networking to a different level that a lot of people won't ever just naturally reach. Being able to have the right type of marketing and investors and stuff, I have access to. If we feel you're genuinely can be great and a superstar, we do have the money and the fundamentals to invest into the artist and into the entertainers and everything.
Based on what you were telling me, is it easy for someone to have the illusion of success, being that, oh, I'm on a billboard?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One thing that I try to tell everyone, um, just because people see you, it does not mean you're famous. In an artist aspects, streams don't always equal fans. Yes, I can put you on a billboard tomorrow and for the next 3 months. As a comedian, we can run promotions, but if people don't like you as the comedian, are people really going to come to the show? And come showtime, that's when when it really matters, because that's you got to put asses in seats to fill up that to get that money back. So I think it's really easy to create the illusion of success, especially in the entertainment industry. But I also feel like that's what you're supposed to do at a certain extent, because that's what a lot of these huge artists do, anyways. They create an illusion that's bigger than themselves, and that's what people follow behind. They want that huge, they want something to look up to. So if this successful athlete or rapper is doing these big, huge, great things, maybe if some of it's a little exaggerated on their end, that's just gaining their publicity and making them bigger as a public figure in itself. So it's a very gray area, gray line in our entertainment world.
It may be necessary to level up or kind of push that where people go like, "Oh, this guy's making it. Let me listen to him. He must have some type of something's going on with this guy if he's on a billboard. Let me."
Exactly.
Whereas before, if they would have seen him on a poster walking by the liquor store, they're just like, "It's just a poster next to the liquor store."
Exactly. You never see this dude before. All of a sudden, you wake up Friday, you walk down the street, you see him on three different billboards. You're like, well, hold on. Everyone knows about this guy but me. Let me check it out. Turns out that guy may only have 500 followers, but he had the right connections and investments to put himself in that position to get on these billboards, and which will gain that person traction and motion and a following.
I mean, just listening to what you've said, I'm just like, well, wow, I didn't really never thought of all this stuff. And then the part of you've put in the footwork to know what you need to do. So if you need a billboard, you already got the numbers, you already did the research.
Absolutely.
You can calculate 90% of it in your head. There's just some small variables of like what's going on and demand that's going on that's going to change the price a little bit, but um so I could imagine people who have come across and know that, right? They see what you've done for a friend of theirs in the same industry, doing the entertainment. There must be a part of you that also has to shoot people down. So, what's that process? And I mean, I guess what kind of advice do you give those people when you got to like shoot them down?
There's a professionalism to everything. Everything needs to meet a certain standard and requirement. I always try to tell people, like, if I have to shoot someone down, 99% of the times it is never personal. It is for their benefit. I want them to look as good as they possibly can. I don't want anyone out there to make a fool of themselves or to waste their money in investing in marketing. So some people, they don't take it the best, and that's all right. But it's just tough criticism that someone has to do, and I don't mind doing it, hurt their feelings or not. Hey, it needs to meet a certain standard and a certain requirement to be on here. We want it to look professional. We want you to look professional and everything like that. So we've ran into a few of it.
When I listen to a lot of rappers talk about their careers, about how they got started and how they move forward, they usually talk about mistakes they made in the beginning. They'll talk about, I should have owned my masters. I shouldn't have signed this contract. The money that they fronted me was not my money. It was owed money. And so I hear a lot more people with that mentality of I'm so talented and I'm not going to let someone take my talent. One, where do you think it's too extreme that it's going to hinder them, and then also the reality of it? Because from my perspective, it's, well, what's the point of me fucking with you if I can't make my own buck?
Exactly.
I have to make money off you. Like this
Exactly.
is just, you're going to use me for my connections, I'm going to use you for your talent. And where can we meet? And it's not always going to be in the middle. There is some part that they're taking risks, right? You're
Yeah.
investing into this person. You don't know if they're going to get locked up. You don't know if they're going to be a weirdo. There's so much that goes into it that you have to put a price on that risk, on that I could have invested this money and energy into someone else.
Exactly.
Um, what's your take on that, I guess?
There's a lot of variables to it, because anyone in today's world can be famous. Anyone. People like annoying stuff, and even things that 80% of the world find annoying, that 20% can still make you filthy rich. Um, when it comes to people signing labels and stuff like that, I just always warn my artist, and I talk I always have conversations with my artist about their financial situations. You should never be looking for a label to find financial security in your long term future. If you're going to use a label, I suggest every artist is to use it as a fundamental startup. Because what a lot of people don't understand, when you're signing to the label, all you did was just got your first loan. That's all you did. You just got a loan. That's it. A loan. That money will need to be paid back. The label wants their money back, and they're going to add extras onto it. They need to recoup their investments, and they will. Whether it's suing you in the future or getting their money back from you off your streams, they'll get their money. So please be careful with that. I tell my artist, if you are in a financial bunch and that is your only way you feel you can get some high level production behind yourself, then you take the risk to sign with the label. But you have to be ready to work hard, because ideally you sign to that label and you're able to pay them off in the first 365 days and walk away from your deal with the production and the studio time they let you use and the high quality videos and stuff like that. Get every bit of worth out the label you can right before you go independent again to build everything on yourself. Never sign away your masters, never sign away the rights to your music, nothing. Don't ever, ever, ever.
I used to work at a paralegal office, and once you learn how to do the paperwork, you're definitely easy to read. But if you don't know any of that stuff, it's gibberish.
Yes.
Is there? I know there's lawyers that do contracts for entertainment. So what is your take on that? Do you like take them to a certain person and go, hey, look at I can't tell you what to do, but if you are going to sign with these people, at least review it with this guy.
Yes. Yes. For anyone, any of our local Bakersfield artists, if you guys are in contract signings, please don't be afraid to reach out to a legal professional. If you guys reach out to me, I can put you in contact with really good people to review your contracts to make sure that everything is good and protected on your end so that you're not just signing yourself away into a bad deal. We have a lot of connections to help artists with stuff like that.
So it seems like you're leveling up to certain parts, right? So your first label contract, someone wants to take you in, they believe in you. It's not necessarily a lifelong relationship. It's a necessary relationship for the time, but the money that they're fronting you, it's not like, let's say they front you. I mean, let's be like, I don't know how crazy it gets, but let's just say what I would imagine, maybe like 30 grand to 50 grand or something for you said for the year.
Yeah.
That's usually, someone's regular income for a regular job.
Yes.
So it's not like, here's 50 grand and fucking buy jewelry and buy a car. It's 50 grand to say, hey, I need you to focus because I don't need you flipping burgers for 8 hours. I need you to focus for 8 hours on writing,
Music, on your
your
craft.
music, your craft, because you're gonna give me these 50 back and we're gonna make another 50
Yes.
in this year. It's not about me getting my 50 back, it's about us getting 100 back or 150 back. Yeah, I never really thought about that. I think a lot of times when I hear like, oh, you got $1 million, you're like, dude, you could buy crazy stuff for $1 million.
And that's what they go do.
But it's
They
not
go
that.
buy it, and then all of a sudden, now they're stuck in a contract with the label that was supposed to be 1 year. 10 years later, we're talking about now I'm just getting all this paid off. And they're like, sweet, well, we've owned everything you did for the last 10 years. So I guess you can have the next whatever worth your music is after that. A lot of people, they blow themselves into debt, and the label doesn't mind it. They're going to recoup. They have so many other artists and people that they're dealing with. They're getting paychecks from someone. Every person, they're getting paid. They're getting paid on rotation. So they want you to make mistakes. They want you to entrap yourself longer with them. Just be smarter than the system and don't. Use your money and focus.
And it's like the devil, right? They got certain like resources and knowledge of things that you're not aware of, that you think like, oh yeah, I didn't pay them back, screw them. But nah, they got lawyers,
Oh,
they got their
yeah.
ways. They're gonna go after you. And even if like they don't recoup the money, they got their accountant who's going to move the money to say, hey, this was a loss and this is why we don't need to pay taxes.
Yep.
So they're always going to maneuver it. They don't
They won't
mind. They
ever
understand the
actually
risk.
take the loss, but they'll make sure that they recoup every bit of money they spent and more.
That's wild. That's wild that there's that part of the new money, right? I remember in high school I had friends who they started getting money from their tribe, they're Native Americans,
Yeah.
and it was so wild to see like a group of people who were struggling just like us to like
Flourish.
Monday they show up with like brand new clothes, chains, Escalades, and it's like I'm buying pizza for everybody.
Yep.
Now we eat pizza every day, all
Yeah.
of us. And that money just keeps coming in every month. And so it didn't really hurt them to spend all their money all the time. But then what I noticed was whenever there was like political stuff going on or economy stuff going on, the casinos would like struggle and all of a sudden like they would get this fat money, but then by the 15th or by the middle of the month, like they were borrowing money from each other. And so that became a big problem. People started getting like not just with alcoholism, but struggling with gambling. So they were spending their casino money from their tribe at the casino.
Yeah.
And that was wild to me. I was like, whoa, that's that's pretty crazy. And then what happened too was they have like membership, and so what started happening was like, well, we have there's 3 or 4 thousand of us, and then so and so ain't even native, so and so is like half Mexican, and so when they started doing was they started like changing it to the rules to where you had to be so much Native American to even get money from the casino. So they started like family members started saying you're not family, and then fighting over money. um I don't think you offer like therapy to people, but what are some of the struggles you see with people and their families where they're like, bro, you're on a billboard and I can't borrow $500?
A lot. A lot. Hey, not everyone's filthy rich, so in this entertainment industry, you see people get upset quick. Hey, so and so seen I paid 500 for a video, but now they're upset that I won't do this, or now they're upset I won't do that. Um, it's it's a shitty, it's a shitty situation, just flat out across. Do what you can and invest what you can smartly. Move around your money very smartly, especially in the entertainment industry, because unlike, the tribe and stuff, or working a 9 to 5, your money's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's going to come when it comes and it'll go when it goes. So, when those artists they get those label payments and stuff like that, and like you said, now they're buying pizza for their friends every day, that money's going to run out. Then all of a sudden, now it's, hey, you don't rap too? You should come sign to my label with me. They break us all off money. And now that label owns 3 different people's masters and rights, and everyone's trapped now.
Yeah.
It's a dark, dark world.
When I think of like some of the artists that I followed for a long time, people that go, oh man, dude, like who's this dude? And then I'm like obsessed with them, and then like I start hearing that other people like them, and I'm like, bro, I've been listening to that fool. Um, Usually, like when I start, like when it's like 15 years in, now that I'm a little bit older and I see them put out new stuff, I'm just like, it's just not the same, and I don't really listen to them anymore that much.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to what you're saying, where someone messes up on that contract, they don't handle the money right, that's crazy that even then they go, oh, what, I still have a career. Yeah, you took all my 10 years of my first work, but you don't own me. Now I can go do my own thing. Like it it's way different because I'm not really listening to that new stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I'm listening to the old stuff. So I'm still for years and maybe for the rest of my life generating money for that label, and you're never going to see a penny of
Never
it.
going to see a penny of it.
That's wild, man.
And then a lot of people have to take into aspect, especially when you're working with a label and stuff like that, how many different ways the money goes. There's writer rights, production rights, engineer rights, sometimes management rights. So even if you are seeing a percentage of a song, it could be as small as 10% sometimes. So you better hope those songs are doing big, big numbers for you to even sit financially okay off of them. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to getting paid in the entertainment industry.
I did comedy for quite a while. I toured for a little bit with a few people, and I did not like. I wouldn't even call it fame. I didn't like the attention of other people who felt that I didn't deserve it, because it was like ridiculous. I couldn't imagine being someone like Jay-Z or Beyonce or Taylor Swift. Um, for context, like I moved. I started in LA and I started doing comedy out here, and I saw that there wasn't much of a scene. The guys would just kind of open mics and hang out with
Yeah.
each other. They knew each other, and so I started like pushing them to say, "Hey, we need a bigger scene. Um, let's um, let's start doing shows." And the common thing was like nobody goes to shows. Bakersfield don't support it, and I was like, "Nah, man. Like, we just gotta try." And they're like, "No, I did a show and only like 3 people showed up." And it was kind of like, well, if he was defeated, then we're all defeated. But my was like, well, then something went wrong. Something should have been better. So we got to try something different. And I kind of just started doing my own thing after that. I started doing my own open mic. I started doing my own shows. I started getting on the radio. But it wasn't like I just decided to do something. Like it took bugging people.
Yeah,
It,
groundwork.
it took changing my pitch.
I know how that is.
And so I started doing the radio. I started doing well, and then I started once I started doing the radio, I had Canoodle Studios reach out, and they wanted me to do a podcast, and they would cover everything. And whereas people would say like, "Well, what they paying you?" I was like, "Bro, they got equipment that I can never afford.
Yeah,
So fuck it. Like I'm just gonna do it."
exactly.
And then I was at the radio station, and the guy goes like, "Hey man, I've had a few comedians reach out to me, and they're telling me like that you have like domestic violence issues and stuff." And I was like, "Fuck no, fuck no." And then he's like, "Well, I just want to let you know, I keep my circle pretty tight." And then, luckily, my personality and the people like they knew me, because it wasn't just like I popped in and left. I
Yeah.
hung out with them. We met before. We socialized. So they knew better. They were just kind of giving me a heads up that there was these people with this type of energy coming at me. And then those Canoodle Studios reached out to me. He goes, "Well, I already know it's bullshit, but I'm just letting you know, like, and who it is, right?" And then the venue where I was doing the shows, she reached out to me, and she's like, "Oh, they're definitely hating on you." And the reason that I'm letting you know is because after the fact that they told me all this negative stuff about you, they asked if they could produce their own show in place of yours. And so that's when I realized like it's one, I understood that it came with the territory, but I I I didn't like the part that so many people liked the drama. They didn't really care if it was true or not. They just liked the idea of being able to put you down and
It's a
think less of you.
Bakersfield thing, man. I throw shows all over California. I help with shows all over America. That type of attention and stuff like that, it thrives here in Bakersfield. I've also ran into similar issues, people saying negative things about me to venue owners and stuff like that. Um, but people have seen my work. People who know me, they know me. They see what I can do and what I can produce. It's this area, man. I don't know why. It's a very high school mindset, and they thrive off of it here. And I'll never understand it.
I didn't know how to deal with it, and I think now I'm a little bit more older and more mature about not really caring about it. But at that time, like it really bothered me. I just did not. I couldn't fathom not having my family, not having my friends. Like when I say like Kanye, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. When I say those things, I say like they must not have no friends, bro.
Yeah.
Not what we would call friends
Yeah.
today. They have to, the rigor that they put into it to say, okay, I'm gonna keep fucking with this person, my childhood friend or whatever. Like it's just, I can't imagine, because I see people who like they're the ones leaking information about them. They're the ones saying things about them for something like shit. I've had my business, and I've had workers steal. I've had problems with workers, and I tell them the first day I hire them, I was like, don't take what I'll gladly give you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
to think that these people for like a grand, 10 grand will give up information to TMZ. Now there might be some insider like, hey, say that you're leaking it so you can get yourself a bag, and I want you to leak it anyways.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past anybody to do something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
where they're just like being sneaky about it, so short-sighted, so horrible. Um, I just it just hurt me at that point where I just realized I was like, you know what? I'm not even that close to my family, but I'd hate to dislike my family. And I don't have many friends, but I'd hate to have no friends. And so I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to go on tour with these people. I'm going to kind of do my own thing. I'm not going to socialize with these people. And so I just started luckily I came across a comedian who he kind of said the same. He said what he said to me was, you know, I've met you, I really like you, and I know why they talk shit about you now. And I'm like, well, fuck, they're talking shit about me.
Oh.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, all right. I was like, I thought here I went and started doing my own thing, and they're still talking shit. Like, all right. And so he took me on tour with him. We did a couple shows, and then I started getting a little bit more like courage to go. All right, well, my friend wants to go to Canada, and I want to go to Canada. Let me get ahead, and we're gonna stop at this city, see if I can like hit an open mic. Let's see if I can get on a show.
Yeah.
And so I would do that when I went to like New York, Canada, Japan. I would do those things. And it sounds cooler too to be like, I've done shows in Japan, I've done shows here, I've done shows there. It sounds a little cooler, but I've never been like paid crazy. Like the most I've ever get paid is like maybe 200 to 250 for like 10 minutes, which is still pretty good.
Really good.
What started happening was I started liking to write for people. I started having friends where we're just hanging out, we're telling jokes, and then they go, man, that'd be a good joke. I was like, I'll take it if you want. Like, you can have it. It's just me having a conversation with you and you found it funny.
Yeah.
But then I started like having friends go, hey, you know, I've really started getting into comedy. I know you do comedy. Can you listen to my set? Because I would tell them, record yourself. Always record yourself. Listen to it. Listen to your cadence. And then start, you know, doing video recordings of yourself. Not to like just do content, but to just be able to review yourself and say
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm hella stiff when I go up there. Oh man, I keep putting my head down when I go up there. I keep, you know, these things that I don't think look professional, start cleaning them up, be conscious of them. As I helped them with their writing, I just kind of got stuck on writing for years. I stopped doing open mics. I stopped doing shows. I just found more comfort in that. And then friends would like kick me back money anyway. So it was like,
Yeah.
it was really chill. But now I've had a couple friends that I've been hanging out with that do rap, and they go record, and I listen to their lyrics, and I'm like, man, if only you had like a little bit bigger vocabulary, I could, you could have rhymed something else there. It would have been a
Yeah.
little bit doper. And so that's something I want to do. What is your experience with people who do those kinds of things? What is it that, how does that work?
Artist writing, ghost writing, and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
ghostwriting.
Believe it or not, there's apps. You know, there's full blown apps that you can download on your iPhone right now. And there's artists that are searching for people. Hey, I'm looking for songs. Hey, I'm looking for this. You know, you can publish your writing, have people review it, and then you can list it for however much you want to sell. It is a very open network. There's tons of apps like that. Even for artist bookings and stuff, managers, there's apps that I can scroll through, look through artists and stuff. Oh, hey, this artist doesn't have a management team. Let me reach out to him and see if he needs help in any of these fields. Yeah, for writers and stuff like that, super accessible. You get on the internet, you find out the correct apps, which I have access to. Everyone can hit me up, and I put everyone in the right direction for the app that they need. But it's as simple as just publishing your writings, and artists can review a short form of it, something they like. They can pay for the rest and then pay for the rights of it. Or you can commission and break a deal. You know, hey, I want $150 up front for the writing instead of the 200 I listed it for, and then I want 15% of the streaming services, streaming rights on the song.
And is that a certain level that they're doing that at, or are there like local people that are searching it?
Everyone, like almost everyone. It is like super money and music is unlimited with each other. Same thing with like putting videos on YouTube. Streaming pays forever. As long as your videos are still up, as long as your music's still up, it'll always pay. I have people tell me all the time, my song will never reach 1 million views. Fuck it, post a million videos then. We bound to give a view on one. We're bound to get one view on each of these fuckers. That million videos and one view each, it's going to pay the same as your 1 million views on one video. Pays you the exact same. A lot of people are just too afraid to pump out content and it fail. Shit. If you're worried about money and fame, pump that shit out. Pump it louder. You keep dumping that stuff out, it's always going to pay. Yeah, it may only be $1.50 this song, $2 this song, $13 this song, $28 this song. But hell, you have 1,000 songs that are processing and paying you out every month. Bound to get, a nice little check.
What's the best way for an artist to deal with maybe social mistakes? Getting a DUI, getting in a fight in public, getting their ass whooped on video. Like what would you recommend to deal with like maybe things you didn't necessarily want out there?
Genuinely find someone in whether it's your friend group or within your family, who is just extremely sensible and wise, and have them help you with PR. I help a lot of my friends and I help a lot of artists with PR and stuff like that. You have a social mistake, you need to find that person that you can talk to about it and learn how you guys are able to maneuver it and adjust towards it. Artists make the biggest mistake when they do make that, social mistake, and then they try to hide it. We live in the internet age. It's going to come to light sooner or later, It's best to get ahead of it, acknowledge it first with your group and your team, and discuss what you feel would be the best way to go forward about something, So I feel, building a team, whether you're an artist, TV actor, or you're in the comedy, I feel like building a good team around you with PR, management, a little bit of everything will help someone go a long, long way.
I've noticed that some of these things, I mean, when it comes to like immorality, or it comes into just uncivil things, I would say most people, as far as they're concerned, maybe don't look on it positively, but it doesn't affect their wanting to see you, listen to you. So is it a lot of it is just in their head that it's their shame, it's their embarrassment that's actually what's causing them to make bad decisions, and how they address it?
Yeah, I feel a lot of it could play a role on that. Like I said, that's why I feel it's always smart to bring in a third party person and discuss the things with them before they try to take something, example, you get knocked out on video. Before you go public making threats and doing all this hoorah stuff, maybe go talk with your team and be like, hey, this happened. How do we navigate this to maybe not look so bad? Hey, it is what it is, You just have to navigate yourself in a professional way to make sure, even if it's a bad situation, that you can at least turn it into some sort of, how can I say it? Publicity.
Yeah.
Because all publicity is good publicity. People watching you is going to make you money, whether it's in a good eye or a bad eye.
They might pay to talk shit to you.
9 times out of 10, you're getting more attention if you're doing something people disagree with. So, a lot of those very controversial people, they get all the attention because it's the people, that hate them are, like you said, basically paying to argue with them. So just navigate it smartly. Navigate your publicity very, very smartly. Anything and everything can be turned good and bad against you. Just, find someone smart within your team to help you make those forms of decisions. It's simple stuff like that.
I think also being realistic of like, was that even an expectation people had of you?
Yes.
If you're like a K-pop artist and some guy robs you, knocks you out, people aren't going to be like, oh, that fool's a punk.
Yeah, we can't.
They're going to be like, oh, that's fucked up, bro.
Yeah, like.
Whereas if you're like this gangster ass guy and you're claiming that you're rough and tough, and all of a sudden you're getting beat up and you cried out to your mom, like, yeah, okay, now
People are gonna
it's
say
an
some
image
things
thing.
about you. Yeah.
With all the things you've mentioned about the management part, a lot of people, they like to talk about AI taking their job. How close or how far do you find AI being able to do all of the work, that management part?
Not even close, baby. Not even a robot or computer can never talk as sweet as me. I
Nice.
feel like being able to talk and be civil and connect with another person on a human level is what strives and connects a lot of these big deals, you know? These multi-million dollar deals or these $10,000, $20,000 deals, stuff like that, people don't want to call you over the phone. Hey, brother, I'm flying you to Italy. I want you to come have dinner with me. Let's talk about this deal. Who are you going to fly? My iPhone? My little AI buddy gonna talk to you? Nah, you gonna fly me out. We're gonna have, dining and conversation and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people saying that AI is gonna take their job. It's just coping. Get better at your job, baby. Hey, if you're letting a computer, you can unplug a computer. I mean, humans, yeah, we do pass away, but like, we have empathy and emotion behind the things that we do. And I feel like on a human level, when it comes to work and stuff like that, that's what people want. They don't want just automated things, because computer breaks and it just keeps running a broken system. Nothing's going to ever tell you it's wrong. You have people working in a line, though, something breaks, one person off the line steps and says, hey, this is broken. We need to fix it. Everything's running back in order.
No, definitely that part, that able to put your thumb on the scale, your ability to negotiate. I don't see AI doing that. AI is going to have some type of like logical,
Yes.
um, okay, because it's both systems trying to win. So I guess in their case, if two AIs are going at it, then they're either going to find like the middle ground, or they're going to just say, hey, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Versus two humans can say, look, this doesn't work, but it's in our best interest, to just at least get something, keep the funds coming in. We're not going to make money off this artist like we would make off another artist, but we can definitely still, um, pay our bills and help this other person thrive. I could see that. That definitely.
Or even when negotiations instantly change from money to something else in an experience. I could be, hey, we want so and so to perform for $1,000. Yeah, we could take that $1,000, but they have a festival 3 months down the line. How about I waive this $1,000 fee and you guys put my artist on your festival? I'll have him perform at the small show for free. At the end of the year, when we do the big festival, put him on there instead. AI won't have the intelligence or the look forward to try to make that type of decision for someone, and I feel like that's a major part of it is being able to navigate all forms of, decisions and negotiations across the table besides just physical money because experiences can go a long, long way.
Oh, that's a gem right there, bro. Definitely.
To
The,
me, it's the you haven't put real emotion behind it. Because if you're doing it so simplistic that a computer can do, well, there's one thing we can do that they can't. We could feel. I can put this emotion and everything behind my work, and a computer just talking simplistically to someone won't sound as good as me vouching for I need my artist that's been in 3 different magazines and 2 billboards. I need him in this show coming up. It's detrimental to our publicity, being able to express urgency or being able to express, hey, take your time, stuff like that. The computers will never really be able to do at a human level. And I feel like that's something you have to take advantage of.
kind of like asking for my mom for a recipe, right? There's books that you can read, and they'll give you ingredients, but it's not all just the order and the ingredients, man. Sometimes it's a feel, the smell,
Where's the
you
love?
start getting a certain scent that lets you know, okay, this is coming up. This is where I
Yep.
start adding this. Um, that passion that you have for it, that really distinguishes how it tastes, and also the quality of the stuff that you have that you're putting into it. it's not just baking soda, or it's not just the rice, it's not just the water. It's how you do it and when you do it that the books usually don't tell you. So yeah, I guess someone just writing code wouldn't necessarily put in a lot of that that passion for what you do.
Even the observation perspective from a booking agent point of view, if the computer is just built to navigate the money deal, say we do have a really good money deal that comes in, oh, it's $25,000 for my artist to perform. Well, the computer won't know, okay, well, let's check what city this is in. Let's check what hood this is in. Does this artist have any complications in this area? Will this put the artist's safety in jeopardy if he comes and performs here? Because, dealing with rappers, there's their own form of politics and gangbanging. The computer may not analyze all forms of those aspects. And all of a sudden, now the computer accepted a deal to put our artists in an unsafe position. So I feel like that's where AI won't ever touch our job, because there's certain aspects where the artist expects us as managers and promoters to put them in safe positions and put them in positions that we have observed and studied and evaluated ourselves. So I feel like that's what keeps our jobs really safe too.
In the management business, what advice would you give an artist to say, hey, go through this checklist before you commit to someone like that, because they could be lying, they could be taking advantage, they could have not given you what you might think you're going to get.
Ask to speak to their roster, and better yet, ask to speak to one of their ex artists. Any of my artists you speak with, or any of my entertainers that you speak with, whether it's past or present, they'll have nothing but good things to say about me. If we did separate, it's because we separated on a mutual agreement and we felt it was better for each other's careers to one go this path and one go the other. I would always evaluate the management's roster and their past roster and the positions, look at things, go to one of their artists or entertainers, scroll all the way to the bottom of their Instagram, kind of see where they started and see where they're at now. Look at their progress, look at that type of stuff. Ask questions like, hey, how long have you been working with so and so? Certain things like that. Try to get your own personal preference on the person before just accepting who they tell you they are.
Don't be blinded by the just the opportunity.
Just by the opportunity. Get some knowledge on the person, gain an understanding about the person.
Yeah, I definitely had experiences where even like being on the road with somebody and thinking like, oh man, I get to hang out with this person and absorb the knowledge. And then it's like, now I'm like, it's like 1 a.m. I'm like, bro, we need to go back to the hotel, bro. Like, I need to get back to the hotel. Like, we got a show. We got to be on TV in about 8 hours. You're all fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. Like, you can't tell me, like, how does he do it? And then in my mind, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt of, like, how did they do it? And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, I'm literally sitting on the edge of my bed at the hotel thinking, like, what a waste of a fucking weekend. This guy's knocked the fuck out. We missed the fucking TV show.
Ugh.
And it's like, it's such a, like, the energy sucked out of you,
Yeah.
bro. It was, oh man, I had that happen to me in Vegas where the whole purpose of the trip was like to do this one show, and the dude just got faded. And then I just remember just sitting there, just like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Such a fucking bummer, bro. That sucks, man. That sucks that there's people like that too, that you get kind of blinded by that. You get blinded to like,
Exactly.
oh, what an opportunity. But you don't really know that this person has like alcohol problem, they have a
It,
woman problem.
how willing some people are to just throw away an opportunity. It is crazy to me. I've experienced a lot with these artists and stuff. Just like you said, asking some people to be on time. It's like, hey, I booked you to perform under this national headliner, and you're 45 minutes late. But the person who's getting paid huge money to be here isn't. This doesn't look good for you. Why would we want to pay you big money when you can't even show up on time to an opportunity? It's one of those things. So yeah, I feel that.
Do you do any entertainment yourself?
No, I don't do any entertainment myself. I'm strictly behind the scenes, off the side of the stage, man. I just help entertainers. My entertainment died when my boxing career died. I had three knee surgeries by the time I was 17. So after that, I got a little bit back into boxing. I could tell that my knee just was never the same. So I decided, hey, let's take a step to the side and let's look at it from the other end. Let's put other people in the position to win. You don't always have to be the primary person to be winning. You can help someone else win and it will also help you flourish. So that's more of the aspect I took to navigate after my boxing career.
And that's a well said when it comes to a team, that your team, not everybody's gonna be front and center.
Yeah,
So you need people on your team that are willing to understand that I'm the guy in the background. I don't need to be in the camera. I don't need people to know who I am. I don't mind being the unknown, the ghostwriter,
exactly.
the guy that just chills in the back and helps out with the jokes. But you know what? I'm fed. I got a nice house. I got a car. Got things that are reliable, and I don't have all the drama. I don't
Yeah,
have
I
all the
don't
drama to be out
exactly.
there. That's well said about being able to just look at it from that point of view. So how was the boxing? How did that go? It was just something you did, or were you
Yeah,
like
no, I was.
Golden Gloves and
Yeah,
no
actually,
shit?
I won Golden Gloves 4 years in a row. Desert Showdown 6 years in a row. Two-time junior Olympic champion. Over 250 junior bouts for amateur fighting. I was a very, very well decorated amateur boxer. I was gonna go pro, but due to injury, my knees just never could keep up the same. It's very unfortunate.
So I imagine like the lot of the disciplining transferred over to the management part.
Absolutely. Just the whole, like you said, the discipline from boxing, the observing everything, being patient, watching over everything, seeing how everything operates. I honestly learned a lot of that from my boxing.
What experience of had you had here in the entertainment where you see someone with so much talent just throw it away for something or not utilize it for something?
Ah, man, it's such a weird topic to speak on because kids are a great thing in the world. But that's what I see a lot of time, whether it's artists, athletes, TV actors. All of a sudden, they have their kid and everything comes to a full stop. And like you said, it's like, damn, all that potential and talent you had is just now dead, gone. And from a manager point of view, it's sometimes I feel like, man, I thought that's when someone would really step on the gas, like, hey, it's now or absolutely never, like, let's go. But that's when I see it a lot is you'll see these artists or these TV actors, athletes, all of a sudden they have their kids and stuff like that, or they get their first serious girlfriends, and they just kind of phase from the world. And there's nothing you can, from a manager, there's nothing you can do about it. Because one of the big things I pride myself in is I try to let my artist move as freely as they possibly want because that's what their artistic expression is. Sometimes it always doesn't lead them down the best path, but that's okay. And then, like I said, kids are kids. They come into the world. They come into the world. You got to take care of them. But I'd say that's where my big experiences are is seeing a lot of these artists, actors, and stuff like that. They have these kids, and then all of a sudden, their careers are over. So, unfortunate. I'd like to see it change, but do I think it will? No.
And it's sad because it could be the best way I can put it is it could be going back to that circle that they have where they go, you got to step as a parent, get a real job. Whereas instead of that circle, there should be the circle of say, hey, look, it's now or never, put into it. Okay, maybe you don't want to be rapping about gangster stuff anymore, but you can still rhyme. You can still
Yeah,
tell a story.
100%.
It doesn't have to be what you were doing. And if you feel that, oh, that's not going to go nowhere now because now I have a kid or I don't want to, they have an epiphany of like, you know what, promoting violence or being so lustful in my videos and in my music. It's not what I want to raise my child like, or I wouldn't want my child throw it back at me.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and get a management job, or get a administrative job, or get this other type of job where I know it's secure and I can feed my children. They could just switch it up.
100%. Just navigate their careers a tiny bit differently to put it in a better limelight. Like you said, a lot of these rappers, well, you guys can rhyme. Write a child's book. You have a kid now, write a kid's book. Kid's book, super simplistic. Get some pictures in there. Have whoever was doing your graphic designs for your rap images, have them do some kid designs for your kid's book. Just navigate your process a little bit differently that makes it more comfortable. And for a family person, it'll make it, more family friendly and stuff like that. But a lot of people, they don't do that. They just jump straight to shut it all down and let's switch everything up. Like you said, go back to that circle of let's get the real job and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where we see a lot of it go downhill. And like you said, it's unfortunate. Ideally, we would just like them to just navigate their career a little bit differently, but most of them, they'll shut down and then they'll come to a realization a year, 2 years down the road. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Then their thought process is, oh well, it's too late.
Yeah, I don't have the momentum
I
I've
don't have
had.
my momentum. It's gone.
And that's wild in itself. That comes to mind now that you're saying that. Well, I lost that momentum, so it's over. But when you listen to like billionaires and stuff, and they talk about going broke, and they're like, if I fucking made a million once, I'll do it again.
Yeah,
You know. So it's the same thing with
one hundred
your
percent.
career. It's like, hey man, I stopped rapping, but people still like rap. So
People are still listening to rap. It still gets played, so someone's bound to listen to it. 100%.
is there any like final thoughts or advice you would give to either an artist or someone looking for a management?
Do your due diligence on who you're working with. Make sure who you're working with is also on the same path of seriousness and on the same level of professionalism that you are. Mix matching those things never ends good for anyone. Try to find someone that you are perfectly aligned with at the moment and use that momentum to help build each other, whether it's your producer, your engineer, your manager. Um, Build your team up, build it smartly. It'll help everyone win. You know, it's what makes people win. So I think that would be my advice to artists is just do your due diligence and build a smart team around you that is also wanting to see you win.
Where can people find you? How can they reach out to you? I know your account got to.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys,
Is it
the
like
new
gone?
Instagram, yeah. We woke up I think it was Friday morning. I had woke up, or Friday, maybe midday. I took a nap. I checked my Instagram. I went to go check my Instagram, and Meta had messaged me for the first time, and that's when I knew something was wrong. I'd never seen a notification from the Meta Center,
Hmm.
but it said that my Instagram had been disabled for 180 days for not meeting community guidelines. I guess the shows were a little too hot, guys. We got to tune it down a bit, but we got a new account at bcm.agent. Come follow us. Come check us out. Let's run these numbers back up. Let's build the greatness back to the top.
So what was the issue with that? Because I know actually in like the last month I've noticed like just tons of accounts being
I
deactivated.
I genuinely don't know, to be honest. I didn't post anything out of the ordinary, and on that account I remain extremely professional when it comes to commenting on things or messaging people. Everything I did that day is the same thing as I've done for the past 3 to 4 years. I All I did was reposted a couple local shows and then woke up, my account was gone. So they let me appeal it. Ideally, we do get the account back, but let's not, lean on it too heavy. We got another account up and running. Let's just get back to working and let's keep going.